Okay, the next thing I'd like to go over are my classroom rules or expectations for you guys in my classroom. Um, Something new to the student handbook this year. For you guys coming out of the middle school, you did this last year, but students are no longer allowed to have cell phones in the classroom. They must be left in your lockers throughout the day unless you are at lunch. Okay, if you happen to forget, especially in the morning, and bring your phone to class, I'll give you a couple tries before I will start confiscating those and turn them in the office. But if you do happen to bring one, there is some pocket holders up on the front door. Just if class has already begun or the tardy bell has already rang, just place your phone up in there until the end of the period and then you can get it. Tardy policy is pretty straightforward. I expect you to be in here by the last tone of the bells. Once that tone rings, I expect you to move or already be in your seats and getting ready for class. Okay, if you are not in here by the last tone, then you will need to go to the office and get a tardy slip. Once you are in your seat, especially with what is going on with COVID right now, you are expected to remain in that seat during their entire class period. And please wait for final instructions before dismissing, especially here at the beginning of the year. I am required to dismiss you in a certain manner, so please do not get up and start walking out when the bell rings. I will dismiss you, as I said, so that we don't have a bunch of people getting close together in the door or in the hallways. I expect everyone to act in a mature, considerate, and respectful manner, not only towards me, but to your other classmates. Okay, for you freshmen, you are in high school now. I expect to see a little bit more maturity than what maybe some of you have shown in the past. Going along with that, respect the school property, my property, and the property of your classmates. Okay, leave everything else alone if it is not yours, especially right now when we're dealing with COVID. Okay. One thing I would ask that I've had problems with in the last couple of years is writing on the desk. I would greatly appreciate it. The custodial staff should not have to spend time each night cleaning off desktops. You are expected submitted all classwork, lab work, etc. on time, and that will be by the beginning of the next class unless I otherwise specify. If it is not turned in by that time, you will only receive half credit. I will only accept late work up until the unit test. If it is not turned in by the unit test, it will not receive a grade and will stay as 0. For those of you early in the morning or right after lunch, this seems to be a problem, but it shouldn't. There are no food, drinks, candy, or anything else allowed in the classroom. The only thing you are allowed to bring is a bottled water in a clear container. Okay. Anything else that will be brought in you will be asked to dispose of it in trash can. I'm sure you guys are not going to want to do that with your drinks or candy, so please just leave those in your locker. If you have something from lunch, make sure you take it to your locker and leave it there. Please make sure that you follow all written instructions and also listen to me for oral instructions. If there is something you don't understand, make sure you ask questions. Okay, the final 3 here have to do with lab activities. If you're doing a lab activity, wear the appropriate protective apparel, such as goggles, aprons, or so on. I will let you know at the beginning what you need to have on. If something does happen, if an accident does occur, please let me know as quickly as possible so I can get that cleaned up and check on you. It happens. I break things, you will break things. Okay, it's not the end of the world. I am just worried about you and your classmates. So just report those. One of the best ways to prevent accidents is to keep your lab areas clean. Okay, and take only with you to those lab areas what you are going to need to complete the lab. Um, The first time any infractions occur, I will just give you a verbal warning and ask you to do better. If it occurs a second time, I will be contacting your parents and sending in a discipline referral, as will I for any further instances. Okay, so please just follow these guidelines or expectations to the best of your abilities, and we will have a great year. Okay, just like you did with the syllabus, you'll have a short quiz to take saying that you fully understand and agree to do your best to follow these classroom procedures.